Welcome to PipejaWood. Over the next 17 minutes, we're going to transform a Slovenian walnut log into a piece that carries both tradition and artistry. This is more than just a turning video, it's a glimpse into what happens when you honor the wood, respect the craft, and preserve cultural heritage. If you've ever held a piece of Slovenian walnut, you know exactly why I chose this wood. It's dense, warm, and it tells a story in every grain line. This particular log came from a local source, and I spent time examining it from every angle, looking at the grain direction, imagining how light would eventually play across its surface. This isn't just a blank. This is a conversation waiting to happen between my tools and the wood's inherent character. Before we begin, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what really happens when you remove material instead of adding to it? That's the fundamental heart of turning. Every bowl I create starts with this single principle. You don't build a bowl, you reveal it. The speed is critical. Too fast and you lose control. Too slow and the cut becomes rough and ragged. I'm looking for that sweet spot where the lathe speed respects what the wood wants to do. There's a rhythm here. Most people don't realize that turning is almost musical. The sound of a well-tuned cut, the sound of the wood cooperating, that's what I listen for. I'm beginning the roughing stage now. Watch the wood beginning to respond. See that vibration, that resistance? That's the wood talking to me. After years of doing this, I've learned to listen deeply. The acoustic feedback tells me if I'm cutting cleanly, if my tool angle is precisely right, if the wood is cooperating, or if it's fighting back. Each species speaks differently. Walnut, because of its density, gives me very clear feedback. A poorly angled cut and you feel it immediately. A good cut and the wood almost flows away from the tool. As I continue with the exterior profile, every surface that will be seen, every surface that will be felt needs intention behind it. I am refining the outer contours, establishing the visual proportions that will make this bowl beautiful from any angle. The transition from the body to the foot, the way the curves flow, this isn't random. That's the result of understanding wood, understanding form, understanding the geometry of what makes something not just functional but genuinely beautiful. The exterior is taking shape beautifully now. I'm working to get this as smooth as possible before we move to the interior, because a sharp tool and careful technique will always give you a better starting point than trying to sand away rough marks later. Less aggressive cutting means the grain stays cleaner. The figure in the walnut stays sharper and more defined. This is where the bowl becomes beautiful. I'm reaching for different bowl gouges. Each one is sharpened to a specific angle. Each one creates a different curve, a different line. A steep angle gives you aggression and control. A shallow angle gives you smoothness and flow. The combination of these cuts, layered one after another, creates the visual language of the bowl. Watch how the curves develop. The outer profile isn't arbitrary, it's considered. It's the line that will define how someone perceives this bowl. Too angular and it feels harsh. Too rounded and it loses refinement. We're searching for that moment where function and beauty become the same thing. Before we move deeper, I'm using a point scraper across the entire exterior. This is about preparation. The scraper smooths the surface, removes the tool marks, creates a canvas that's ready for sanding. It's a gentle pass, nothing aggressive, just preparation, just respect for the wood. Now attention turns to the foot. This is the base, the foundation that will sit on a table. But more than that, it's an opportunity for detail. A small leg, carefully shaped, changes the entire visual weight of the bowl. It's no longer just sitting there. It's standing with presence. The foot is complete, refined, ready, but we're not finished with the exterior yet. There's an area on the bottom where the chuck jaws will grip, and this space, this functional necessity becomes an opportunity for artistry. I'm decorating this area. It's a small gesture, but it matters. Every part of this bowl deserves intention. Even the parts that will rarely be seen deserve care. Here's something many people don't know. The bowl you're watching is going to carry something special. Later, in the final stages, a wooden PipejaWood coin will be inlaid into the bottom. This isn't just a maker's mark. It's a signature, a promise, a piece of our identity embedded into yours. The space around this coin becomes the frame. The decoration is complete, small, intentional, beautiful. Now everything gets sanded. We're moving through the grits methodically. Walnut can splinter if you're not careful, especially at the grain edges where the direction changes. But when you respect it, when you take your time, the wood opens up. Each pass reveals more character, more depth, more of what was always there beneath the rough surface. The sanding is complete. The entire exterior is smooth, prepared, ready for what comes next. Now the chuck jaws engage. We flip the bowl and instantly we are ready for the interior. The exterior work is finished. What started as a Slovenian walnut log has become a functional form, a visual object, a piece that's already beautiful from the outside. But the real work is about to begin. Now comes the detail work on the inside of the bowl, and this is where patience truly separates good bowls from exceptional ones. The inside of a bowl is where hands will rest. It's where people's tactile experience begins. I'm shaping the interior curve carefully, thinking about how someone's palm will sit in this, how it will feel to hold, how natural the proportions will seem. This is one of those decisions that separates a bowl that feels premium from one that feels cheap. Too thick and the bowl feels heavy, clumsy. Too thin and the wood becomes fragile, loses its structural integrity. What I'm aiming for is that perfect balance, where the bowl feels substantial in your hand, where you know you're holding something real and solid, but still light enough to lift without any thought or effort. It's about presence without burden. The curve needs to be generous, but not so deep that it becomes impractical. It needs to invite the hand. I'm removing material slowly, methodically, feeling the wood respond to each pass. This is where you really listen to what the wood wants to become. Some bowls want to be deep, others want to be shallow. The wood tells you, you just have to pay attention. As I continue refining the interior, I want you to notice something. See how the wood is revealing its character? Walnut from different parts of the tree, different regions, can range from light honey tones to deep chocolate brown. What we're seeing here is nature's palette. The grain lines, the color variations, this is what makes walnut special. Each log is unique, each bowl tells a different story. Now I'm moving through the final shaping of the interior. The surface needs to be smooth, intentional. I'm working with sharp tools and careful technique so that I can get this as clean as possible before any sanding. A well-executed cutting technique means less aggressive sanding later, which means the grain stays crisper, the figure in the walnut stays more defined. That's the difference between revealing the wood's character and obscuring it. The bowl is starting to sing now. The form is complete. What was a square blank is now an object with presence, with balance, with proportion. This is the moment where you can see the potential fully realized. The exterior is refined, the interior is welcoming, and the overall form has harmony. Before we move to finishing, let me tell you about the surface preparation. I'm going to use progressively finer grits to prepare this walnut for its finish. Walnut can be a bit finicky. It has a tendency to splinter if you're not careful, especially at grain edges, where the grain pattern changes direction. But when you do this right, when you take your time and respect the wood, something magical happens. Now, at this point in the video, we're introducing something that transforms this from a beautiful, functional bowl into a piece with genuine cultural significance. Idrija Lace. If you're not familiar with this, please listen closely, because this is distinctly and beautifully Slovenian. Idrija is a small town in Slovenia with an incredible heritage spanning centuries. For generations, the women and men of Idrija have been creating lace using techniques passed down through families and communities. Idrija lace isn't just lace, it's a UNESCO-recognized form of intangible cultural heritage. It's intricate, deeply mathematical in its precision, and distinctly Slovenian. I've chosen to integrate this cultural element into the bowl you're watching me complete, because I believe both deserve to exist in the same space. The tradition of Idrija lace comes from a time when this was a way of life, a primary craft that sustained families. The patterns are complex, often taking weeks or months to complete a single piece. The level of patience required, the focus, the mathematical thinking it mirrors what I do with woodturning. We're both revealing beauty through careful, deliberate work. The lace is being carefully set into the wood now. The pattern you're seeing is a traditional Idrijan design. Look at how the geometric precision of the lace contrasts with the organic flowing grain of the walnut. This is intentional. This is a conversation between two traditions: the natural, unpredictable movement of wood grain and the mathematical, designed precision of Idrija lace. People ask me why I combine modern turning techniques with this historical craft. The answer is simple: because both deserve to exist in the same contemporary space. The bowl respects the tradition of Idrija lace making, and the tradition elevates the bowl into something more than just functional woodware. This becomes a cultural artifact. This becomes a statement about where we come from, what we value, what we preserve. The lace is now beautifully integrated into the piece. The contrast between the natural wood and the intricate lace creates something visually compelling and historically meaningful. Every detail is flush, intentional. This is exactly why custom orders matter so much. You're not buying something already decided for you. You're creating something unique that exists because you imagined it. Now comes the finish. Before I seal this, I want to tell you about what happens next. This walnut is about to receive a finish designed to enhance and protect simultaneously. Our proprietary finish is made from two carefully chosen ingredients: tung oil and palm wax. Tung oil is remarkable. It penetrates deep into the wood fiber, and as it cures, it actually hardens from within. It doesn't sit on top like a plastic coating, it becomes part of the wood itself. The oil fills the wood's cellular structure, which simultaneously protects it from within and allows the wood to breathe and move naturally as humidity changes. This is crucial. Wood sealed with film-forming finishes can crack and fail because the wood wants to respond to seasonal humidity changes and the film won't allow it. The palm wax layer goes on top of the cured tung oil. This provides water resistance, creates a beautiful natural sheen, and builds a protective layer that ages beautifully over time. Unlike plastic finishes that can look dated, tung oil and wax age gracefully. They warm up, they deepen. Watch as I apply the first coat. Notice how the grain comes alive. That's the tung oil doing its work, revealing colors and depth that were always there but hidden beneath the raw surface. This is what makes walnut so special. The finish doesn't mask the wood, it honors it. The grain patterns that seemed subtle before now have dimension and presence. I'm allowing adequate time between coats for the oil to cure properly. Rushing this step would compromise the finish's longevity. Patience here pays dividends for years to come. Each layer builds protection and deepens the luster. With walnut, the color actually shifts over time. What you see today isn't what it will look like in 6 months, and it won't look the same in a year. The wood will age gracefully. It will patina. It will become even more beautiful with use and time. That's part of the authentic promise of something handmade. It's not static, it's alive. This is where the custom order aspect becomes essential. What you're watching is not mass production. This is made to order craftsmanship. If you want a bowl that reflects your story, your needs, your aesthetic, we offer exactly that. Every detail can be customized. The wood species, the dimensions, the finish, the cultural elements, it's all possible. On our website at PipejaWood.com, you'll find our custom order page. That's where the conversation starts. You tell us what you're imagining, and we work with you to bring it to life. We've created custom pieces for people celebrating anniversaries, commissioning heirlooms, gifting to someone they love. Here's a question I genuinely like you to consider. When you hold something crafted by hand, something that carries the visible marks of real work and real skill, does that change how you feel about it? I believe it does. I've seen it in customers who tell me years later about a bowl they purchased. They describe how it's become part of their daily life, and they still think about the craftsmanship every time they use it. That's the power of knowing something is made, not manufactured. Before you go, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel. Every subscriber helps us continue creating these videos, pushing our craft further and bringing these pieces to more people who truly value them. A like costs you nothing but helps our algorithm tremendously. And if you'd share this video with someone who would genuinely appreciate seeing real craftsmanship in action, that would mean the world to us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring about how things are made.